Hey there, guys, and welcome back to Get Going Fast, place where we get into this excellent hobby AI in a quick and hopefully kind of understandable manner. So we learn a few things along the way. Welcome along. Come on inside. It's good to have you here. You're in safe hands. So we are actually kind of following along with the trend of since we upgraded our CUDA 11.8 up to 12. Okay, we finally took the plunge. That has actually opened up the ability to run some other apps that we were only able to run in the Windows subsystem for Linux, or WSL, as we so affectionately call it. So this is kind of exciting. We got Zonos for Windows has popped up now, which you can go watch the video for that or go get it over at the Get Going site. And today we are going to look at Sauna, which in my opinion is one of the most underrated applications that has come out in the last year. I mean, it's just a fantastic app. It runs incredibly fast. You can do all these different odd sizes of images with it. Look at this. This is a YouTube banner here. Okay, this popped out in seconds. Okay, it took like less than 5 seconds to make this. That's good quality. I mean, obviously, I put the words in there myself, but this kind of stuff runs so incredibly fast. Okay. And like I said, you can do odd, large dimensions with this. Okay. I think to create a YouTube video or a YouTube banner, you got to go like 2,555 by like 144. I don't know, whatever. Big numbers. But then if you go ahead and click your run, look at how fast that is going, and it's going to come out very good. Wait for it to come. There we go. Now we'll click it, open a new image, and there we have our huge cat, okay, at a large scale. This is one of the most underrated apps of the year, and I believe it was because it only ran in Linux. Until now, okay, I personally have spent the time to convert this over to a to be able to work with Windows. So over here on the GitHub repository, we're going to take a look, and it's under here under Sauna for Windows. We'll be able to search that, and we're just going to go ahead and go through the process. I've changed up some files that are going to make it work for you, and we are going to rock on into using Sauna because honestly, it's an excellent app. The only reason I wouldn't use it consistently is because it was a pain in the butt to load it up in Linux, but not any longer. So we're going to do that. But before we do, I do want to thank you so very much for being part of what's happening. We're growing here. The community is getting bigger. And I'll tell you what, as the community grows, it's better for us all because that means more people are getting involved in that. That means that more stuff's getting targeted for the community, which means more fun stuff to play with. It means that we're growing. We're not like the board, but you know what? We're like some other thing. I don't know, something, but you're thinking and learning, and I'm learning from you, and you're learning from, we're like dolphins. Okay. We're working together. Dolphins, they swim around a school of fish, and then all the fish start jumping up, and then every dolphin feeds. So we're like dolphins here in this community. So thank you very much for being part of that and for sharing with other people. Bring some dolphins along. Lots of room here for everyone. So, okay. I do want to really quickly, before we move on, say, we have an Instagram page that you should be checking out. If you are an Instagram fan, come look for us. So that's over at CogniBuild. So that's Instagram.CogniBuild. You can find us over here and join us in. Okay, here we go. We got all sorts of fun stuff over here. That really is helpful as well. You can find us on X over here. So we are here, same thing at CogniBuild. So CogniBuild AI. Come find us over there and help build the community. Oh, lastly, if you're on Reddit, you can find us over here. We have our own page at Get Going Fast. So come over here and share all of your stuff that you want to share. And I'll tell you what, Reddit is kind of a hive of villainy and scum. There's a lot of turds over there. People get afraid to post because I'm going to get downvoted and I'm going to lose all my post karma. Get over to Going Fast. We'll thumb up everything you sign on there because we're not like those other folks. And that's why I like you, because you ain't like those other folks either. They're turds. You're great. All right. But let's move on with this and get Sauna up and running on Windows. Yo. Okay, well, let's get going with this. So let's head over to our browser where we're going to go find the repository that I've uploaded. Before we do start, if you just want to get going fast, you can head over to the site here, and we have the installer here that is available for members, or you can just buy it as a single purchase. But regardless, we're going to walk you through how to install it. So we're going to go over, look for this repository. Okay, and I had to upload this. So what we did is to change some files for us that was making it not work. So you're not going to actually find this by doing a Google search. Normally we would do something like Sauna for Windows, GitHub. Maybe in the future you'll find it, but it's brand new, so it hasn't been able to make it to Google results yet. So instead, what we're going to do is you're going to type GJNave. Okay, that's my handle, and just go and type the word GitHub, and you're going to bring up with this one, Gary James Nave, Cognibuild, GJNave. Okay, so that's going to bring us up to here. Then if you scroll down, you'll see different repositories, and here we've got Sauna for Windows. So let's go ahead and click that, and this is going to bring up, you'll see up here, it's forked from NVIDIA, NVLabs Sauna. So in other words, that was the original one, and we went ahead and forked it, made some changes. It is underneath the Apache license, which means it's open source. You as well can make whatever changes you want to it and sell it if you want. Do whatever you want with it. The open source is wonderful that way. So what we've done here, all we did is we just removed a couple files, made some changes to some key stuff, and then we added this installation thing down here. So we're just going to follow through these steps here. Really not going to be that difficult of a process. It's just a little bit of time consuming, and there's room for it to mess up. So we're going to just make sure to go through this step by step. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this. So first thing we want to do, we want to go ahead and clone the repository. Oops. We want to clone the repository just like normal. So we're going to go up here to where it says, okay, you can't even see that. Let me make this a little smaller for you. I think you can see that. Do that better. Okay. There we go. All right. So we're going to go up here, grab the, where it says GitHub, GJNave, Sauna for Windows, and we're just going to copy that. You can also go here and click on this green button and then just copy it as here as well. Okay. No big deal. So we're going to go ahead and do this in the terminal window just because why not? You learn good stuff when you use the terminal window. So we're going to pop on over to here, and let's go ahead and put it in a folder. So like, say you're going to put this in a folder just for Sauna. Typically what I like to do is do something like, say like make directory images and then Sauna, you know, have just to organize it a bit better. Okay. So, you know, you could do something like this. I usually, when I'm doing it, I just put it in a temp file, but maybe we'll do it like this just for you. So we type mkdir, and we're saying that means make directory, and we're going to create a directory called images, and then we put this / It's a / because the top of it's leaning to the right, and then it says Sauna. So we'll go ahead and press that. Oh, I guess I didn't like that. Let's try a / No, I didn't like that. There we go. Okay. So it was a / So / is leaning to the left. So now I'm going to go ahead and type CD images, CD Sauna. Okay. You could call it whatever you want. You can call it call it AI apps or something like that. Just don't put spaces in. Okay. Spaces cause problems. So let's go ahead and if we type dir, you're going to see we're in a blank directory. So let's type git clone. And we're just going to clone that directory into there. So now if we type dir, you're going to see it create a folder called Sauna for Windows. So let's go cd Sauna for Windows. Okay, now we're in here, and you can see the different files that we're going to be working with. So we're going to pop back and forth from our browser a bunch. So let's click on over to here. Gosh, what's up with this? Okay. So we're going to scroll down here to the directions. You can see the Cognibuild logo here. That helps you know where you're at. So there we've CD'd into Sauna for Windows, get clone CD'd in. Now we need to create a virtual environment. For this one, we're going to use Conda. And the reason we're using Conda is because we can set the Python with it. Okay. Notice it says Python equals 310. And that's really one of the big differences between when you're using Conda or you're using your pip virtual environment. Right now, we're talking about virtual environments because when we use pip, it's nice. It packages it right there in the directory, but it uses whatever Python is installed on your system. If you got 310, it's going to use 310. If you got 312, it's going to use 312, whatever. Okay, by the way, don't ever install Python 312. Don't do it. Okay. When we use Conda, it can actually install a Python environment in there. So even if we have Python 311, we can have Python 310. Now, the reason it's going to be important for us to use Python 310 is because later on, we're going to get down here to where we're going to install Triton. Okay, this is one of the benefits of us having upgraded to our CUDA 12. We wouldn't have really been able to do this really easily. But anyways, we're going to use a prepackaged wheel, which means someone already put it together for us and made it, God bless their heart, right? God bless you for doing that for us. So we could install it. It's a lot easier on Linux, but you have to have the exact Python version. So you're going to notice this one is for Python 310. So if we have any other version, it's going to fail. So what we do is we're going to use Conda instead of the pip virtual environment because we can force it to 3.10 to make sure the rest of our directions are working. Okay, so let's go to our command prompt, and I'm going to type CLS to clear the screen, and then I'm going to just hit Control. Whoops, I'm going to make sure that I copied this correctly. Evidently, I didn't, so I'm going to highlight that, hit Control C. Okay, now I'm going to hit Control V. So we're calling Conda, we're calling our mini Conda, and we tell it that we want it to create a virtual environment. This -n is a parameter saying create an environment, and I'm about to give you the name. And then the name is going to be Sauna, okay? And then we're telling it we will also want it to be installed with Python equals 3.10.10, okay? And then we put this -y so that it doesn't prompt us, are you sure you want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Just do it for us, okay? So this is going to install it. Now, if you've already installed it, if you get in here and you're running it and it says it already has installed, I'm going to encourage you to remove the old environment. And how you do that is type conda env. So conda environment. So we're telling it, hey, I want to talk about environments. And they're saying I want to remove something. We're going to do the same thing here, but we're a little different. We're going to go -name. And then we're going to go sauna and then -y. And if it's in there, it'll go ahead and remove it for you. Okay. So that's important just because this installation is kind of wonky. You just want to make sure you do it step by step. So anyways, pasting back in the old one we have here, we're going to go ahead and create the environment. Once you get rid of the one, it's all done. Then we recreate the other one. Takes a second to load up. I'll drink my coffee, shut up, give your ears a rest for a second. All right. And here we go. So it's gone ahead and created it. Now to activate it, we're just going to type activate. Gosh, Sauna. Okay. So that's important because if we don't activate it, it doesn't do any good for us. Okay. So virtual environment keeps our system separate from whatever we're going to install here. Okay. It's basically like, it just keeps everything in its own thing. Like I got one place for my toothbrush. I got another place for my daughter's toothbrush, and my son's got his own toothbrush place. And that way everyone has their own little toothbrush holder. And it's the same way when we use virtual environments. You've given every app its own little place so that nothing's bleeding in. I'm not getting daughter's nasty toothbrush all over my toothbrush. Okay. So we're going to click on the browser. Now we've gone ahead and created it. We've activated it. Now we're going to go ahead and install the CUDA toolkit. So in the past, we would have done something like this. If you've been watching at all, we would have gone conda install -c, meaning out of a catalog. We would have gone NVIDIA CUDA toolkit equals 11.8. Okay. That was the way that we did it for the last year. And it was good. It treated us well. Okay. Hey, CUDA Toolkit 11.8, you were always a lady. All right. It was meaningful. But now we have moved on to newer things, and we're going to be using this 12.6, which comes with its own installation thing. So here, what we're going to do is we're using basically the same idea. We're using the Conda. We're installing, but now we're installing out of a different catalog. We're not using DASI. We're more, we're just telling it to look in a different place. It's like we had our big catalog. Now we're looking at more specific catalogs. Okay, and we're telling it what we want is this CUDA 12.6, and it is the CUDA toolkit. So I'm not exactly sure how exactly it reads this, but it reads it differently. And so we're going to have to get used to this now. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter on that, knowing that we're in our virtual environment. And we're going to go ahead and let that install. It shouldn't take too long. The torch is the one that's the time killer. But while that's installing, well, okay, we'll hit proceed. Yeah. Now, if we'd hit a -Y, it wouldn't have asked us to proceed. It would have just done it, which is a nice reason for putting -Y. Okay, so just going to go through all this. Okay, and then it's done. Okay, so we can hit CLS again. That was clear the screen. Now, if we go back to our browser, let's hit the next one here. And what does it say? Pip install Torch Vision, Torch Audio. So we're now using the 12.6 version. Again, you'll notice over here it says CU 12.6. And the other ones that would have said CUL or 118L. 11, it looked like an L. It looks like 2 L's, I guess, but it's going to be 1, 2, 6. So same thing. We're saying pip. This time we're using the pip install. Here we go. This time we're using the pip installer. We're going pip install Torch Vision, and Torch Audio. And then we're giving it a parameter index dash URL. We're saying get it from a website. And then we're saying that the website is this one. Okay, this HTTP, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to go ahead and press enter on this. It's going to install it. We're in our virtual environment, which is great. Okay. And so it's going to go ahead and do this. Now, this is very important that you get your CUDA installed correctly. Okay. So it has to match your CUDA toolkit. Now, I want to point out something. You might be asking, but Gary, we installed CUDA 12.8. Why are we installing the CUDA toolkit 12.6? Okay, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. Okay, because the 12.8 is like our factory, but there's several different ways that we can interact with that factory. Different roads, we could come in, through the swamp, we can go down through the roads, we can come in by helicopter, different ways to get into that factory, but the factory itself remains the same. And these different roads, paths are your toolkits. We can get in by 11.8, or we can get in by 12.4, or we can get in by 12.6, or, this sort of thing. So we install CUDA. It's like, when I say CUDA, I'm like, it's big CUDA. We install CUDA 12.8. And then we install in the CUDA toolkits to get in there. Now, so what we did is we installed the CUDA toolkit 12.6, okay, which works with 12.8. Whatever factory level, whatever CUDA you have, you can install all of the CUDA toolkits that are below it. But like, say you install a CUDA of 11.8, you wouldn't be able to use the CUDA toolkit from the higher 12s. So it's like saying you can't, if it's the CUDA 11.8, you can't use the helicopter pad to land in there because it doesn't have a helicopter pad. Okay. But if you have the 12.8, okay, you can run 12.6, 12.4, 12.0. If we installed big CUDA 12.4, we wouldn't be able to install the CUDA toolkit 12.6. You see, whatever your big CUDA is, you can install the same level toolkit and down, but you can't go up. So we've installed CUDA 12.8. There actually is no torch for 12.6. So, or for 12.8. So we're going ahead and we're doing the CUDA toolkit 12.6, which means that we have to make sure we get the torch for 12.6, which is what we just did. And then we're going to go back over to our browser here, and we're going to find out that, we're going to get down here and you're going to see where to install Xformers. for 12.6. And the Triton doesn't matter, but you see it, we got to keep all of this the same. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next thing. We've installed Torch. I talked you through that whole long install. Let's copy it, go back to our command prompt. We're going to paste that in. And what we're doing here is we're just calling the local Python. So remember, we used Conda. So we have the Python on our base system, but then we have the one that we just used with Conda. And so by typing this python.exe-m, we're saying don't use the base system's Python, use the one that we just installed. And what we're doing is we're upgrading our pip package installer, just in case. Sometimes you'll try loading stuff and she won't work. And it's just, I don't know why. You just have to upgrade your pip thing. But by using it this way, if we just type pip install pip, it wouldn't have worked. By using this, we're saying upgrade not the base pip, but the one that's in this virtual environment. Okay, we use that -m, we call it Python and -m. Okay, so moving on, go to our browser. Now we're going to grab our Xformers. Okay, we're just going to copy this. We're back to our command prompt, paste it in, same thing. We're using that pip installer instead of the Conda. We're going to do the Xformers, and we're getting it from this directory here. Okay, which you can't see. Okay, so good deal. I'll just get that to click for us. Okay, I'm gonna go down here, download it as always. Okay, so that didn't take very long. Now we'll go back to our browser. Next line here is this one. So now we're going to install Triton. Okay, Triton on a Linux system, all you would have to do is just type pip install Triton. Does not work with Windows. So instead you have to find where someone has built it for us already, and then we access it directly. So we're using our Python package installer, our pip install, and then we're saying install this file. And so we give it a URL. Okay. Normally, like I said, we would type pip install Torch, pip install Torch audio. Well, it just knows where to find it, but there is no place for it to find Triton when you're on Windows. So you give it the exact place to find it. Okay. And by the way, this is very important. You'll notice that it's version 3. So there's a version 2 that's floating around. If you install version 2, this will not work. So you need to use this version. Okay. So it downloads it, installs it, done. Head back to a browser. Now, this thing, Portal Locker, has to do with logging. So this is one of the changes that I had to make to the files, was that it was using something that does not work on Windows. It only worked on Linux. So I changed it out. So we're using this thing called Portal Locker. So we got to make sure we pip install Portal Locker. It looks like that was spelled wrong. So that will install. Let me go back over. Oh yeah, you can see I misspelled that. I'll fix that. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to pip install this thing. And that .e basically means install what's in this directory. So basically it's going to look at this file here, this pyproject.toml. That's going to install that. So we'll go over here. Looks like it's still installing Portal Locker. Now she's done. So now we'll go pip install -e. It's like install from this folder, and that dot means this folder. So we're going to go ahead and let that do its thing. And this will take a little bit of time because there's a bunch of dependencies in there. But again, I fixed it. What this would have done in the patch is it would have undone all the stuff that we already did with the Torch and the Triton and all. It would have been a pain in the butt. So I cleaned out the requirements, the .toml file, and it will now just install the stuff that we need. Okay, so you need to use this repository to get the files to work, because this will not work if you just go to the NVIDIA repository and download it and do these instructions. They won't work because the files are different. They've been modified. But I'm going to go ahead and pause this while this finishes up, and we'll be right back, yo. Okay, and so that took a little bit of time, but now she's done. So we're almost through this. Let's click on over to here. And now we're pretty much done with everything big. Now we just need to install the smaller stuff. So one of the things about this model is that we have to log into Hugging Face and we have to give it a token. So this is what's called a gated model. So in other words, the Sauna model, that you can use it, but they want you to sign in for it. Okay. So you have to get what's called a token from Hugging Face. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second, but we got to set it up so that we can do that in the first place. So go back to our browser and we'll just go ahead and copy this here, pip install Hugging Face Hub. Okay. And then over here, paste that bad boy into there. Get done. Okay. That's very easy. Go back to our browser. Now notice we've got this next one. It looks the same, but it has in brackets CLI. So that means our command line interface. So it's going to allow us to interface with Hugging Face through the command prompt. We're going to do that. And that's done. Now, this next one will take a little bit longer, but we're going to go and sort of install Gradio. So Gradio, of course, is how we do our apps online. So whenever we're pressing on stuff and clicking on buttons, it's Gradio. Now mine was already installed. I must have installed it onto my base system by accident. It didn't take very long. That can take a little bit of time usually. Now look at, we're done here. Now we got it says double click log into sauna.bat. So this is where we have to get into our repository. So let's go ahead and you can do this in the file explorer, or you can just copy it over here, but it's going to do the same thing. It's going to open up a screen that looks like this. Okay. So it's Hugging Face. Let's get this out of the way. And a token is, so mine's already saved on here, but you basically, if you don't do this correctly, you'll get an error saying that you're not allowed to get the stuff. So let me show you how to do this. We go over to our browser. Get over to our browser and we're going to go to huggingface.co. Okay. .co. It's going to bring us up to here. Now, once you've logged in, you're going to have a little arrow over here. So you click here. Let me just make sure you can see that. Yep. Click that. You're going to go down to access tokens. So click that. Now you're going to have a whole list of stuff. Okay, so you're just going to click create new token, give it a name. I've got one already called Sauna, but you're just like Sauna 2, whatever. And then we're going to click here to click read. And then we're just going to click create tokens. Okay. And that's going to give us a large number. So here I'll just do a test one. Going to pop up something like this. Okay. We're going to copy that. Now I'm going to delete this immediately because I don't want you all using my tokens, but you would copy it. Then you would go back over to your command prompt and you don't press Control V here. What you do here is you just right click. All right. And it's going to be invisible. You can't see it. Okay. But it'll paste it in there. Just press enter and then everything is going to be fine. You're going to be logged in. No problem. Okay. So I'm going to cancel out of this because I don't want to do it again. But once you're done, you're pretty much ready to run this thing. So now I'll go over to our browser. Say copy token. We did that. Press enter confirm. Now we run saunawindows.bat. Okay. So when we downloaded this, I included with it a .bat file. So you'll see it in here, run saunawindows.bat. Okay, so great. So we'll just go ahead and run that. What that's going to do is it's going to do this, it's going to run through all this, set some stuff, and then it's going to download the models. And so it might take a while because there's like 4 or 5 of them it relies on. So it might be like 10 gigabytes by the time you're done, maybe more. But it's not a small one. Now, I do want to show you this really quick here. This is what the bat file is calling this right here. So notice we're using the 1600 million parameter one. There's a 600 million parameter one, which you can run, which might, if this is having a hard time, you can change it. Okay. And how you would change that is, let's see if I can get over here to where we're at. Hold on just a second. While this is loading, this is going to take a little bit of time to load. So let me click here. Okay, let's go over to File Explorer. And you'll see this is where we downloaded a thing. Under here, what you could do is you could right click on this Run Windows. Comes out here like size of Goliath. Okay. You right click on this and go edit in Notepad, and it will pop up a this screen. So this is the file that is running. All you would have to do is get rid of this, change that to 600, change this to 600, change this to 600. And then you just press Control S, you'd save it and then run it. And then you'll be running the lower. Okay. So you can choose how you want to do that. But I just go ahead. This thing runs so fast anyways that I didn't bother to change that. Although, again, if you go over to the installer, I'll have an option on there, what you can do. But okay, here we go. You know, the quick installer, they get going fast one. So here you can see it's downloaded some models. Now, I think it's not taking as long with mine because it's downloaded them, but because of that Hugging Face hub we installed, it's keeping them in a cache somewhere. So just because I'm deleting the folders or whatever, it's not deleting the models. Yours will take you a little bit longer to load. Okay, so you're going to go through all this nonsense. So it's loading. Now it's going to go ahead and it does this weird thing. It generates several different images before it loads. See, it's going to do it now. It's going to start creating these things. But I want you to notice this here. It says running on local URL 0000. So you may get this or you may not. Okay. The thing is been acting funny. Sometimes it will give you one that says 127.00.01. Other times it's going to give you this one with zeros. If it gives it to you with zeros, it's fine. It's probably going to give an error at the end of this that we're just going to ignore. But all you got to do is copy this. And later on, what we're going to do is we're going to paste it into our browser. But what we're going to, what we're going to do is change. I copied that by accident. Let's go back here, copy this again. Okay, so all you're going to do is up here, change this to 127.0.0.1, which is a local address. That just means this machine. When it's 0.0.0.0, what it's doing is it's setting you up for the network, but it won't work. So you just got to change it. If you ever see 4 zeros, change it to 127. But you'll notice we're in the app. Okay. And so if we go back over to here, we're actually it's just generating images. Okay. It's generating images for this down here, for this down here, all of the samples. But you're in your app now. Okay. We're in. It's still kind of loading up the apps, but you can get going. So notice advanced options. You can change your height. You can change your width. Again, the benefit of this is that you can get odd dimensioned and very large images in seconds. Okay. So if I was running Flux or I'm running SD Forge, even if I'm using like an old model, and I tried to do something that was like you can create fully 4K stuff with this. If I tried to create a 4K, even out of an older model, it's going to take a long time. It's a big model. I might run out of memory. This handles it so well that you can do massive 4K poster size stuff that you can print out in a matter of seconds. Okay. And that's what's really amazing about this. So here you can set all your stuff, and then they got different styles. So you can do something fantasy art, pixel art, digital art. They got 3D models. Let's give that a try. Let's say dog on a skateboard. And let's see how that worked out. But anyway, the point is you can play with this. You see it loaded up to 1.6. If we'd have done the other, it would have loaded up to 600 billion. So that's not looking quite like a 3D model, but whatever. Okay. If we put it on to Neopunk, or I guess that's Neopunk. Just a couple of seconds. There we go. That's pretty cool. Looks like that should be on a skateboarding company or something. And there you have it. And then you got all your samples, you got everything else. To run this in the future, all you got to do is head back to your File Explorer and just click on that Run Sauna Windows.bat. It's already in there for you. So it'll just load up. Again, if you got it from the Get Going Fast site, out here, what you'll do is you'll actually have a, it'll look like this. There we go. So you just click install Windows.bat and then you run it. So that's if you get the Get Going Fast. If you did it manually, just go into here and then just click on the Run Windows.bat and she's going to work. Great. So there you have it, guys. Sauna for Windows has now made Sauna usable. Great app. You should use it. I use it to create my banners for YouTube, banners for my Get Going Fast site, stuff like this where I need large images, and I don't want to wait forever to do it. Okay. So we all know with AI, sometimes you got to make things 5, 10 times. If you got to wait 5 minutes for an image and you might have to do it 5 times, that's too long. This thing gets it done in seconds. So really enjoy this app. If you have any questions, hit me up on the Discord, hit me up on the Reddit. A reminder, come join us over on Instagram. Come join us on X, all this good stuff. You can find me on Facebook, all this good stuff. Come hit us up on the Reddit. Come be part of our community. We'd love to have you there. We'll greet you with bells. All right. In the meanwhile, you stay good. We will catch up with you later. And until then, be good to each other. Yo.